Good morning. It's Tuesday morning, and we're going to continue talking about snakes today because remember, we live in North Carolina and there are many, many snakes here. So today I'm going to read you a book called Know It Alls Snakes. See that exclamation point? I'm not just going to say snakes, I'm going to say snakes. I think snakes are pretty cool. Remember, I told you they used to scare me, but they don't scare me anymore. Let me make sure I didn't miss a page. Nope. All right. Some are just as short as a pencil. Others are long as a telephone pole. There are almost 3,000 different kinds of them in the world, and even though most are harmless, many people are afraid of them. What are they? So this is a riddle. It gave you some information, and then it asked you, that's pretty clear, isn't it? What's the name of the story? What are they? They're snakes. What is a snake? It's a reptile. So are lizards, turtles, alligators, and crocodiles. Snakes are cold-blooded. Remember, I talked to you about that yesterday. Their body temperature depends on the temperature of the environment around them. People are warm-blooded. Our body's temperatures stay about 98.6, no matter where we are. Snakes often bask in the sun to warm themselves up, then hide in the shade to cool off. A snake's body is covered with hard little plates called scales. It may look wet and slimy, but it's actually dry. This snake is called a scarlet king snake. Snakes do not have legs, so they can't walk. They have to glide on their bellies or move their bodies from side to side to get where they want to go. Snakes have two eyes, but they don't have eyelids, so they cannot blink. Many snakes can see very well. They don't have ears, but snakes hear by feeling vibrations as they slither across the ground, and they can smell with the help of their forked tongues. One thing a snake does have is sharp teeth. Rattlesnakes have heat detectors on their faces, which help them sense the body heat of another animal, like a mouse. And then up here it tells you about snakes. It says, snakes' bodies have scaly skin, no legs, no eyelids, no ears, forked tongue, and sharp teeth. Remember we talked about yesterday that snakes, they smell with their tongues. That's crazy, isn't it? Where do snakes live? I'm going to talk about habitat now. All over the world, but especially like to be where it's warm. Snakes can be found in jungles, deserts, swamps, and forests. Sometimes they're even in your own backyard, including ours. They climb through the trees, hide in the grass and among rocks. Some even swim in oceans, lakes, and rivers. They're very good swimmers. At the approach of a cold season, some snakes, so when it starts to get cold, some snakes find a hole or den to sleep in until it becomes warm again. Here's all the different kinds of snakes. Now, you know that I have a pool in my backyard, and last spring when I was sitting around just with my feet in the water of my pool, not in it yet, it was too cold, a snake came out of the bushes by my house and swam right across the top of the pool. Just didn't even stop, went right off the edge, swam across, went right up on the top, just quick as can be. I was very surprised. I had never seen that before. What do snakes eat? They eat meat. Snakes are carnivorous. That's why they're called carnivores, a big word that means meat eaters. Most snakes feed on small animals, but larger snakes can eat big animals. Snakes eat insects and worms, frogs and lizards, mice, rats and rabbits, birds, larger animals, and other snakes. Some snakes are helpful snakes. You actually want them around because they'll eat the bad snakes. They're helpful to people. How do snakes catch and kill their food? Snakes are sneaky. Sometimes they hide and wait for a meal to pass by. Other times they creep up on an animal and attack with their sharp teeth. Some snakes use their big hollow fangs to give victims a deadly shot of venom. One kind of cobra can blind animals by spitting venom into its eyes. That's a clever trick. We're going to watch a video today on milking a snake. Now, this is an important video because when a snake, a venomous snake, we never call snakes poisonous. That's not poison. They have venom. Their poison is called venom. And we don't call them poisonous snakes. We call them venomous snakes. And so what scientists do is they collect venomous snakes and they milk them. So if these are the fangs inside their mouths, They put their mouths, they pick them up by the back of their head and they hold them over a jar or a glass. And then they push their top of their head against the side of the glass so that their fangs push against it. When their fangs push against it, it releases the venom. And you'll see it going into the jar in the science lab that we're going to look at in a video later. They need that venom because the only way to make medicine to treat snake bite is by using the venom to make the venom medicine. It's called antivenin. Isn't that interesting? Antivenin is very, very expensive medicine. And when you see how they collected the venom, you'll see why it's so expensive. Some snakes use their big, strong bodies to squeeze the life out of an animal. This is called constriction. So there's 3 ways that a snake can get its food. It can get it with its sharp teeth, with its poison. They say poison here, but remember it's venom. And by constriction. That means squeezing, squeezing, squeezing like a boa constrictor. How do snakes eat and digest their food? Well, this is what they look like because they eat their food whole. They do not tear their food into smaller bits. They swallow a meal whole, sometimes while it's still alive. It can take an hour to get a big animal in a snake's belly and weeks to digest it. Snakes have very strong stomach juices that can dissolve every bone and the teeth. With its specially hinged jaws, snakes can swallow animals larger than its own head. So it has a special hinge on its mouth, so it doesn't just open its mouth like us. It can actually open its mouth all the way like this. Like if our teeth came up here and our jaw came down here. Big. So something big can go in their mouths. We don't have that. We can't do that. How do snakes protect themselves? What are their defenses? Any way they can. Snakes are great hunters, but sometimes they get hunted themselves. Large birds, crocodiles, and other animals love a tasty snake snack. Some hide by blending into their surroundings. This is called camouflage. Others are brightly colored to warn predators that they might be venomous. The rattlesnake will hiss loudly and rattle its tail to frighten enemies. This here is called a coral snake, and it looks like the king snake, except the coral snake is venomous and the king snake is not venomous. This rubber boa curls into a ball and hides if its head is attacked. It hides its head if it's attacked. The black mamba moves as fast as 7 miles an hour to escape predators. That's fast. And a hognose snake's rolled over and plays dead. It pretends it's already dead. This is down here, the hognose snake. Those are some pretty good defenses, aren't they? How do snakes grow up? Most hatch from eggs. The eggs are tough and leathery, not brittle like bird eggs. Some snakes give birth to live babies. We talked about that yesterday, remember? Newborn baby snakes can take care of themselves right away. They're precocial. We talked about that when we talked about the baby pukekos, remember? And just as you outgrow your clothes, snakes get too big for their scaly skins. Several times a year they have to shed or molt to get their skin off. It comes off all in one piece, just like a sock. Those are some interesting details. Some are the same as yesterday's book, and some are a little bit different. Okay, so your job today is to pick some of the facts from in here, and you're going to write you should have written your first page and your second page of your book. So Connor's at my house right now. I'm so happy. He came for Mother's Day. And so yesterday he did his cover. So his book is called Snakes and Reptiles by Connor Jory. And then yesterday, he isn't finished yet, but he started his first page because I'm recording this on Monday. He'll finish this today. And so here's how his book looks so far. Open the cover, and there's his first page. He'll do his second page today, and his first page said, a snake is a reptile. Now that's a good place to start a book because it's a general statement. It's pretty broad. All snakes are reptiles, so he isn't talking about anything specific yet. So today, you have to do if you didn't do a life cycle yesterday, I think today's a life cycle day. Let me look at my schedule here. Yes, so if you didn't start your book with a life cycle, which is a really good place to start your book, you need to do a life cycle as your second page today. All right, so today is life cycle of a snake, and I'll put up some videos that show you that a little bit better too. All right, can't wait to see your work. You should have cover and 2 pages of your snake book done by the end of the day today. And when we have our class meeting on Friday, you're going to talk about your books. You're going to hold them up and show them and read us. Everyone's going to read us your favorite page in your book. That could be your cover if you want it to be. Remember, make sure you're doing your best work, just like Connor did. He pencil first, then Sharpie, then color. Pencil first, then Sharpie, then color. All right? Okay, I can't wait to see your work. I love you.